You know, when most of us think of the Ten Commandments, we just picture a simple list of rules, right? But the original story from the book of Deuteronomy, well, it's way more dramatic than that. This isn't just about a set of laws. Nope. It's about a powerful covenant, a binding agreement being literally forged in fire between God and an entire nation. So let's go back to that mountain and see how this incredible moment actually went down. Okay, so the scene is set with just incredible intensity. This wasn't some distant message or a quiet revelation in a dream. The text makes it super clear. God spoke directly, face to face, right out of the middle of a blazing fire on a mountain. Can you just imagine that? The sound, the sight, the sheer heat of that moment. This was a communication you absolutely could not ignore. And Moses, who's the one telling this story, he makes this really crucial point right away. He tells the people, hey, this agreement, it's not some dusty old contract made with your ancestors. He says it's a living, breathing covenant made with them, with all of us who are alive here today. So it's immediate, it's personal, and it's happening right now. So where does this fiery covenant even begin? Well, you might think it starts with a thou shalt not, right? But it doesn't. It starts with a statement of relationship. The very first step is all about building a foundation of loyalty. Yeah, before a single command is even given, God establishes who he is through their shared history. The very first thing he says is basically a reminder. Hey, remember me? I'm the one who rescued you from slavery. This isn't some distant, abstract God. This is a liberator. And absolutely everything that comes next is built on that foundation of freedom. And from that foundation of rescue, well, that's where the first demand comes in. Exclusive loyalty. No other gods, no carving out images to worship. The whole point is that this relationship is supposed to be direct and singular. It's a call for total, absolute allegiance. And the stakes for this loyalty? They're laid out with this incredible, almost mathematical contrast. I mean, just look at this. Rejecting God brings consequences down to the third and fourth generation. But loyalty? The promise of love extends to 1,000 generations. The text isn't just giving you a choice. It's basically shouting from the rooftops that the potential for blessing is just astronomically greater than the punishment. Okay, so we've got the foundation of loyalty firmly in place. Now, the covenant shifts gears into the how. It starts laying out a blueprint for how to actually honor this relationship in everyday life. Basically, a pattern for worship. And it starts with respect. The third commandment is a warning against misusing God's name. The idea here is that the name itself carries the full weight and holiness of God's presence. So, it's not something to be thrown around lightly or used for false promises or for any empty reason at all. Next up is this truly radical social command, the Sabbath. And I mean, just look at how comprehensive this is. This isn't just your day off. The command covers everyone and everything, your kids, your servants, even your animals, and any foreigner living in your towns. It's a universal, required day of rest for the entire economic system. That was absolutely revolutionary. But here's the crucial part. Why? Why this mandatory, all-inclusive day of rest? Well, the text ties it directly back to their own history. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt. So the Sabbath isn't just about taking a break. It's a weekly act of empathy and remembrance. It's a constant reminder that because they were freed from forced labor, they now have a duty to provide rest for everyone else. All right, so we've got loyalty and we've got worship. The final piece of this covenant provides a blueprint for community, the rules for how people are supposed to treat each other. This part kicks off with the core family unit. And this command is pretty unique because it comes with a direct promise attached right to it. Honoring your father and mother, the text says, is directly linked to living a long life and things going well for you. It's cause and effect. And then boom, 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 we get the absolute pillars of a just society delivered one after another. Don't murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't lie in court, and then finally, the text goes straight to the root cause of so much social breakdown, desire. It commands people not to even covet their neighbor's stuff, tackling the thought itself before it can ever turn into a destructive action. So there it is. 10 earth-shattering rules, delivered straight from a mountain that's on fire. Which, of course, brings up a pretty big question. How in the world did the people who were actually there, hearing all this, react? And this is where the narrative takes such a fascinating human turn. Let's dive into how the people responded to this completely overwhelming and, frankly, terrifying experience. They were completely and utterly terrified. I mean, the experience of hearing God's voice directly from the fire was just too powerful, too intense. Their first reaction was basically a fear of being completely annihilated. They truly believed that if they heard God's voice any longer, it would just destroy them. So they come up with a solution. They basically beg Moses to be their intermediary. They say, look, you go up there, listen to what God says, and then you come back and tell us. But, and this is key, even in their absolute terror, they make a solemn promise. We will listen and we will obey. They totally accept the covenant. They just need a buffer from the raw, overwhelming power of its source. So, after all that, what was the point of it all? Well, the final wrap-up of this whole event reveals the ultimate purpose. This covenant, it wasn't designed to be some heavy burden. It was framed as the one true path to prosperity. The final instruction from Moses really boils down to two clear, simple steps. Number one, be careful to actually do what God commanded you. And number two, stay the course. Don't get sidetracked by other ideas or temptations. Don't turn aside to the right or to the left. And the reason why, what's the end goal here? The text couldn't be clearer. The entire point of this fiery covenant and all its rules is so that you may live and prosper and prolong your days in the land. It's presented as nothing less than the definitive blueprint for a long, successful, and thriving society. And that really leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? This ancient text claims to have the blueprint for a society to live and prosper, all based on a framework of loyalty, worship, and justice. So it makes you wonder, what does a path like that even look like today?